dice. Shiny. Who the heck are you?
I am the one created from your constant greed, your desire for more dice, just like a dragon. I am the Dungeon Master, twister of worlds, forger of artifacts. I am...
Stop right there. Your name is Mitch now.
Dude, no, that's not my name. What the frell?
Da 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 da. Finding all the artifacts. It's Dungeon Master Mitch. What the fuck, guys? My name's not Mitch.
You're Mitch now, bitch.
Alright, enjoy your show, DM Mitch.
What? Electri, you're going to pay for this. Zidane Danny. I am Dungeon Master Mitch. Because of course I am. Why wouldn't he choose that stupid name? Or should I say he and his friend Captain Jack. Welcome to my first ever episode of my new series, Dissecting Dungeons and Dragons. In this series, I, your Dungeon Master, will be looking through different aspects of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, as well as other RPG games. Today's topic is about the DM screen. Now then, a question often arises when you're speaking to many different DMs. Should you use a Dungeon Master screen? And this is no simple answer by any means. Many DMs will choose to just simply use the books, and when they need to cover something up, they will with a piece of paper or another book. And of course, certain times, yes, it can be useful to hide miniatures and roll hidden dice, but many of them feel like it is better to roll in person. But what should you think about? Well, let's look first at the benefits of using an actual DM screen. Now, first off, depending on which version you get, you may be able to get special additions to the alongside of it. But first, we'll look at the DM screen itself. First off, many DM screens have very nice artwork on the fronts. A good way to show your group, the world perhaps. But on the inside, they have different aspects of your world, telling you different information that could be useful. It's kind of like a cheat sheet for being a DM. For example, just on the first page, it gives a whole bunch of DCs, damage by level and severity, object hit points, object armor class, skills and associated abilities, and so on and so forth. And that's just the first page. That's not even mentioning the conditions on the next, the weather on the one after, and more information on the final page. As such, you may think, wow, this sounds great. And yes, it absolutely is. Now keep in mind that this is specifically talking about Electri and my DM screen. But others are not as useful, and can vary on how good they are. But it's definitely a possibility. Now, as for a problem with the DM screen, many will say it hides too much, and the fact is that many DM screens are the side that is that you will see is this side. It'll be vertical like this rather than being horizontal like mine is. Now, of course, you can find ones like this just as I have, but there are many, and many people don't like them because many are vertical with the wide side, meaning that it can be very challenging to see. This is approximately where you would be seeing how high the audience would be seeing if this was at table level. Basically, only seeing my face, and if something is happening above, then obviously I can't see. But with this specific one, as you can see, I am able to view things much easier, not having to strain my neck as much when I'm forced to look at things. And if it's a lower table, even better. But of course, that does come with drawbacks, but for me I think this would be quite fitting. Which is why I absolutely adore this DM screen. If you were to get a DM screen, I'd say get one like this, that is more short rather than tall, as it will help, like I said, with the whole seeing issue. But on top of the fact that you get your DM screen with all of that information, some DM screens come with extras. For example, my Wilderness DM screen comes with, I believe, let me make sure of details, yes, 5 whole pages worth of information. First, coming off with Wilderness Journeys information, which has journey cycles, random encounters, tracking, foraging, all that jazz. Then Wilderness Chases, information about all of that interesting information, including ending the chase, splitting up, role reversal, and of course information about actions in combat. Not to mention that there are also 3 pages worth of hex maps, which 2 of them can always be together, but even possibly 3. So, rather useful in my opinion. And finally, the last thing in my collection is a supply tracker, great for both food and water, in case you are running a more serious campaign. Quite good for, say, Call of Cthulhu, or, as its intended purpose, wilderness travel. Now the choice comes to you. Should you choose to take on the role of a DM, should you get a DM screen? In all senses of the word, it is up to you. But in my opinion, the DM screen can be rather useful in multiple different situations. And if you feel like you do need to roll something, then rolling it over is not as challenging as you may expect. Another important factor to realize is that even without this, even if you do have a tall one, more than likely you will be standing on multiple occasions to stretch over the table for whatever reason there is. Whether it's to check something that another member of your party has done, or many, many more. So if it is tall and you have to stand up in order to play, it's not as bad as you may originally think. So, if you do absolutely need a DM screen, or you agree with me that they are great, then getting one like this that happens to be shorter is definitely the right track to go on. Anyways, I. Anyways, I have been Dungeon Master Mitch, and you have been watching my series. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're new, as there will be many, many more interesting Dungeon Master secrets coming your way very soon. If you have any thoughts or theories or questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments below. If you are going to leave a theory, Electri requires me to say that you should leave the words theory review somewhere in your comment so that he can talk about them in a future video. And finally, if you do want to support the channel even more, then definitely head down to the description below and check out all of our links down there, including our social medias, our other channels, and ways that you can support us financially, including the merch store, the Patreon, and the book. And a big thank you to our current patron, Sheeny. But anyways, guys, I have been DM Mitch, and I will see you in my next video. But on.